Yeah man, greetings everyone. Stewie saying welcome back to the channel with another video, this time on the improvement or expansion works at Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. Jamaica has seen a steady growth in the number of passengers choosing to use the island's airports. With the numbers skyrocketing and going through the roof, it became very obvious that something had to be done at the airport. Improvement and expansion was necessary. A plan was put into action and works began with major refurbishing and expansion of the terminal buildings. The construction of the seawall, the extension of the runway, and many more works. If you're interested in seeing all these videos, you can just check out the channel playlist under Airport Expansion Project and you'll see videos of all these works. Some very interesting videos in that playlist. You should check them out. Now let's move on to 2024 and where Jamaica is now as it rises to the demand by the world for airport services. If you have been subscribed to this channel and has been following the improvement works of the airport on this channel, you would have known that the last video that I put out would have showed you the installation of e-gates for departing passengers and also the opening of a new roadway to the departures area, which separated the traffic for departures and arrivals. You can check out that video in the link below. The e-gates has had a positive impact on the airport in the reduction of these long lines, and also the diversion works with the new roadway has caused a significant improvement in the traffic congestion, especially in the roundabout leading into the main entrance of the airport. Another very important issue which was addressed by the creation of this new road to departures, if it is not the most important issue, is that it allowed for the expansion. Are you ready? Expansion of the immigration hall. Anybody who uses this airport would have known that this is one of the main causes for some of these delays you encountered at the airport. And I say this because it's just a fact. If you're departing the islands, one of the longest line you'll come across is the one going into that security area there where they'll take your passport and make sure that you are the person on the passport, all of that, and then you'll go over to where the x-ray machines are. So that area usually has the longest line if you're departing the island. The e-gate somewhat addresses that, but you need more e-gates in that area, hence the expansion. And if you're arriving in the island, you have to agree with me that when you come back to the immigration area, that is where a bottleneck usually is, and you can spend the most time in that area before you go to baggage claim. So all of that area is referred to as the immigration hall.
So this is Friday, June 14, 2024. So this is the actual work in progress now. I showed you a clip earlier of how this area used to look. This roadway used to go all the way around to arrivals. This is no more. All this area is now blocked off for the construction, the expansion of the immigration hall. So here's another quick glimpse of what we had before. So you see the work started just about door number 3 to the entrance of the departure or the check-in area, and it's going all the way down across this sign we all loved, all the way around to arrivals, that entire area. So now we can see the new roadway to the arrivals area is making a lot more sense. Not only has this roadway eased the congestion in traffic at the airport, which it does a good job, it has created new lands now, a new area for the immigration hall to occupy. So here's a different view of the perimeter fence which encompasses the area where the works will progress. So here we can clearly see it starts out right about in the departure area and it's extending all the way across the old roadway, all the way up to the departures area. So we have a corner here. So let us give you the view from the arrival area back to this corner. So clearly we are by arrivals here, and this is the perimeter fence that came down all the way from across departures. If you follow it, it will go back and you'll see the corner we were looking at from the departures area. This says to me that this area also took some of the lands that was previously the old car park. So this looks like a massive expansion to that building, and that should create a lot more room inside the immigration hall. So we should have less congestion with more desks added, more equipment added, and this says to me that it seems like we're fixing that problem of these long lines at Sangster's International Airport in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Does seems like somebody came up with a plan, because just as these works are being executed at the airport, I can see in the hills of Montego Bay the bypass making its path down to join up with the A1 highway in the vicinity of Iron Shore. This is in very close proximity to the airport, and this says to me that people going to Negril from the airport, instead of going through the town center and enduring those long delays, will just go on the bypass and end up in Negril at a much quicker time. So this should help with some of these inconveniences. But let's see. I'll be here to watch the progress of this, and I'll be sure to give it to you.
And by the way, I must add, I recently went through the airport in May on my way back from the US, and I was very impressed with the service offered there now. I know it's not the best time to make an evaluation because it's now the slow period for the airport. But I say this because when I came back to immigration, I simply had to go to a kiosk, look at the area where you're supposed to look at, and this machine identifies you with your passport. And then when you come back to this line now where you'd normally go to visit an immigration officer, you'll just keep to the left as a Jamaican resident, and there's this area with your passports. Once you scan it over this machine, it just allows you to go through, so there's no actual human interaction, and quickly you're over at baggage claim. I say no human interaction because if you don't need the assistance of these people, you can just go ahead, use the machine, do your thing, go through the airport. But there's 100 smiling faces there willing to assist you if you don't understand how these machines work. If you made it this far with me, thanks for watching. Bless up. Stewie, sure to keep you in tune.